I made more money last year than I've ever made in my life, and I was fucking miserable. I quit my job last week, and now I'm in Bangkok. Let me tell you why I did it. Last year, I made 160K, which is a lot of money relative to the, salary distribution in America and the world. And it's more money than I've ever made my entire life by, a factor of like 2 or 3. But I was miserable. And I think at the core of it, I was miserable because I didn't have autonomy. And I'll talk a little bit about why I think that's important, because money without autonomy, you just use that money, like it looks good on paper, but you just use it to fund your kind of numbness and distractions of escape. And that's what I found myself doing. I found myself living for the weekend. Like my one day of the week that I was actually like happy was Saturday. Like Friday afternoon was great because you look forward to Saturday just having to do nothing. And then Sunday rolls around, and the proverbial Sunday scaries, and I was just like dreading the week. And I was just like miserable throughout the week. And I was a psychologist at the VA, and that was like my lifelong goal to begin with. However, when I got there, I quickly learned that how do I say this? It's just everything's just difficult there, unnecessarily difficult. I had to do dumb shit like I had to personally call patients 3 times in a row if they don't show up. Like, where in the fucking healthcare system do doctors? When's the last time you were called by a fucking doctor? What else? If I wanted to take off on vacation, like let's say like I get invited for a trip, I have to put in 45 days heads up. Okay. If not, I have to like fake call in sick. But even if I want to take in leave, I have to like literally send an email to my supervisor about it. Then I have to email my entire team asking if someone can cover me. Then I have to fill out like a 4-page form on taking that off, and then that gets confirmed. Like, there were a lot of times, like my caseload wasn't heavy at all. It was actually the opposite because the facility where I was at overhired. And there were some days where I had like literally 1 or 2 patients, and you just had to sit there. Like I often like joked with my colleagues, like my job was like paid time out. And yes, you can say, well, that's great, you don't have to do anything, but like I didn't go to school for 10 years to not do anything. Like I like to do meaningful work. And so, you just sit there. And I worked on other projects and made the most of my time, but it was just infuriating because I don't have anything to do, so why can't I leave? And I did leave early one time, and they like acted like I had sex with one of my patients. They like freaked out. They're like, I'm really concerned, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I had nothing to do for 5 hours. I was literally sitting there. And it got to the point, and the straw that broke the camel's back was like, I would take walks around the building because I was tired of sitting in my office. And my supervisor literally told me, I'm walking too much. I need to be in my office outside of my lunch break. And I said, okay. And then I knew I was done. Like, I'm not going to be micromanaged. I'm not going to be, you can tell I have a problem with authority. I just think it's ridiculous. Like, if you can trust, if I'm responsible for someone's life as a psychologist, like I'm liable if they commit suicide and I didn't do my due diligence, I'm like liable. Like, I should be trusted to manage my time. If I don't have anything to do, why do I need to be there? And I know people are going to say, that's the VA, but so yeah, I got the fuck out of there because I was miserable. And so again, like I had all this money, but no autonomy. I had the nice car, I had the Tesla, I had the nice apartment, and it's just, what is it? The golden handcuffs, or you're in a golden cage. I literally felt like a caged animal. And it was taking a toll on my body. That's another reason, a big factor in me leaving. Like, it's just really interesting. Obviously my background's in psychology, but they don't really emphasize enough, I think, the interplay or the interconnection between physical and mental health, because my physical health really took a toll. I started getting, my insomnia got worse. This is TMI, but I started getting a lot of like diarrhea. And interestingly, I got acid reflux, for the first time. I'm in my 40s and I've never had any GI issues, and I started getting acid reflux about a year ago. Had a hiatal hernia. I think it's called silent reflux, where I don't get the heartburn, but I just get the acid in my throat, and I felt it every day. And it's interesting, like when I was more stressed on work, I noticed those symptoms would really like flare up more. Makes sense, like the cortisol and things like that. But crazy enough, I've been in Bangkok for about 3 days. Or actually, so when I quit my job, I was basically on sick leave for the last month, and my diarrhea went away. And then I've been in Bangkok for about 3 days, and my acid reflux symptoms have probably gone down 80%, which is crazy. Even for me, it's crazy. I was like, wow, is this really like psychosomatic? But it really just goes to show you, like, stress takes a toll on the body. And, I can be a workaholic, but I've realized now that, you need to pace yourself. Another factor that led me to leave was, like, I think the security is an illusion. Like, one of the reasons I joined the VA. I mean, I'm a veteran myself, so I wanted to kind of pay it forward because I had a VA psychologist that changed my fucking life. Shout out Dr. Moran. But well, one of the benefits of working in the VA is, like, you think job security and things like that. Obviously, it hasn't been, there's always like the threat looming of, they're going to reduce staff, they're going to take away this, take away that. Like, you get hired under a contract saying you're going to be able to work virtually twice a week. That gets taken away. You can, work compressed tour, which means you can work like 4 10s and have a day off. That gets taken away. It's just like contracts are meaningless at the VA. It's like, all right, well, this isn't real. You're going to constantly like go ahead, like, oh, we might need to reduce staff, blah, 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 blah. And it's like bullshit because, like, the leadership where I was at, they're like, oh yeah, we have your back, we're fighting for you, but like, nothing gets done. And I think that's something important to realize. I would say 99.9% of the time, your employer doesn't give a fuck about you. And they don't owe you anything in the sense that, like, oh, you work hard for them and they're gonna, like, hook you up with a bonus or a promotion. They don't give a fuck. Okay, if you really think about it, the employer wants to maximize the productivity they can get out of you with paying you the least to prevent you from leaving. That's it. So, like, all these like platitudes of our leadership saying, oh, they're gonna help us, they're gonna do this. It's all fucking bullshit, dude. So yeah, I've never drank the Kool-Aid that, like, you guys have my back, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I didn't really feel secure there as well. And it's just, everyone, I mean, and I'm not alone, out of my team, most of those people there are miserable and looking for work. Miserable. And, the turnover rate there is high too. Like, when I got hired, there was like 2 psychologists because there had been a mass exodus before me. So, anywho, I digress. The other thing I thought about is, like, what am I going to regret more when I'm 60, when I retire? And, I've talked about this in another video, but it's like the Jeff Bezos regret minimization theory or whatever it's called. And the idea of me working for not only the VA, but just an employer for 20 years, just so I could go overseas what I'm doing now, I was like, I'm just going to do it now. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I have enough runway saved up for a couple years, and I'm working on a couple businesses right now. And so, I'm going to take a shot because life is short, and I rather, for me, I rather swing and fail and have a good story to come back to America to than, just like fucking, oh, how was your weekend? Oh, Mondays. Like, dude, fuck that. Life is too short. I could die tomorrow. I mean, that's another thing I thought about too, is like, I had patients younger than me with strokes. One of my close friends got MS. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Cliche, but true. And I would hope to live into my 70s and 80s, but who the fuck knows? And so that's how I kind of look at it now. It's like, I'm either going to succeed in making my own money, which I don't need a ton of money to, live okay out here. Or I'm going to have a good story because I can always get, I'm fortunate enough. I have a PhD. I can get a job if I really need to. But the idea of that sounds fucking terrible. And so, I want to work on my own projects for me, and I want to try to make my own money, and that's scary. And I think that's good because I think if you're not a little scared, you're not growing, and that's cheesy but true as well. And I was just, man, I don't know how, and I know this sounds maybe like privileged and ridiculous. I don't know how people go to work, do the fucking go to a fucking shit job for 20 years. Now, don't get me wrong. I love therapy. I love helping people. Like, the work is beautiful, and it's changed my life. And I've hopefully had some patients that, you know, they benefit from our work together. So I like helping people. However, all the bullshit of a, bureaucratic organization like the VA, it just kind of ruins it. So I mean, eventually I want to use this YouTube channel to, hopefully get coaching clients, just to be transparent, because it will allow me to do the work I'm passionate about without all the bullshit. Frankly, those are all the factors that led me to leave. I'm scared. Like, I'm scared doing this. Like, it's just not gonna be easy. I've actually lived overseas before, so, and I know, like, I don't have any delusions of like, oh, it's gonna solve everything. It's a paradise. You see all the like YouTube streamers like, oh yeah, my life's so great. Like, there's gonna be challenges, and this is not guaranteed, and I'm scared. But I think, a little bit of fear gets you motivated to perform. And so, yeah, I'll talk a little bit what I'm gonna be doing in other videos, but if you're miserable at your fucking job, find a way. And you can say like, oh, if you find your mind saying like, oh, well, it's easy for you because X, Y, and Z, I have a PhD. Like, that's just your mind coming up with reasons because you're scared. If you're miserable right now, I encourage you to find a way to get out of it and try to make your own money, or get into a job you don't hate.